And now for news on the student Nido Taniam, who was killed in Delhi a couple of weeks ago. We're now hearing that his autopsy report has confirmed that he died of injuries to his head and face. Remember, the cause of his death was debated. The police said that he did not suffer serious injuries at the time of his death, and in fact that video over there suggests that there are no external injuries. They now believe that internal injuries may have led to his death. Vijay Kao is on the phone line with us for more on this story. Vijay, one of the big sticking points in whether those head injuries indeed caused Nido Taniam's death is the video that viewers have on their screens right now, one ostensibly taken by Nido Taniam himself, showing his head relatively free of any wounds. But the police saying the autopsy report has confirmed that head injuries caused his death. Well, we've lost our connection there to Vijay Kao. We're going to try and get that back for you. But the autopsy report of Nido Taniam apparently says that head and facial injuries caused his death. A sticking point, particularly considering the video on your screens, which suggests he did not have any severe head or facial injuries prior to the time the police dropped him off at Lajpat Nagar, where he had earlier been assaulted. Vijay Kao is now with us for more on this story. Vijay, I was asking you earlier, the video on screens right now taken by Nido Taniam on that bike suggests that he did not have any external injuries. Are the police suggesting that, or is the autopsy report suggesting that the injuries were internal, the injuries that led to his death?
Yes, Pierre, that's what the sources are telling us, that the injuries on Nido Taniam's head and face could have prompted to his death. Now, this new theory, which is coming to us from our sources, completely flies in the face of earlier claims by the police that and the initial autopsy report, which had suggested that the injuries on Nido Taniam were such that they could not prove life-threatening. But now, our sources are telling us that the injuries on his head and face could have been the one that could have triggered Nido Taniam's death. We do know that Nido had got into a scuffle in South Delhi's colony with a few shopkeepers, after which the very next day he was found dead. Now, the Delhi police, the CFSL, which indeed has the access to the postmortem report, is submitting the very report in the High Court today, when we shall be getting the exact details of it. Back to you, Pierre.
All right, Vijay, one more question on this case, because of course this bolsters the stand of Nido Taniam's family and friends, who say that he was severely injured in the beating, even though his appearance may have not suggested it, and that's what caused him to, it is conflicting with the reports that the police had put forward initially.
Exactly, Pierre. The family of Nido Taniam has been claiming so far that Nido died due to injuries that were inflicted upon him because he was beaten up by a set of shopkeepers. The police, however, claim that when they heard about the incident, they reached on the spot and they tried to sort out the matter, and it was only after there was an amicable settlement is when they went and dropped Nido back to his guardian. However, the very next day Nido was found dead, and that raised several questions as to what could have prompted and led to Nido's death. There were questions raised about the nature of injuries that were found and the injury marks that were found on Nido's body. However, initially the police and the initial postmortem report had suggested that those injury marks are superficial in nature and could not have triggered death. But now, as our sources are telling us, that the kind of injuries that were inflicted on Nido's forehead and face are the ones that could have led to his death. So conflicting reports emerging. The exact details would be available as soon as the CFSL report is presented today before the High Court. Vijay, the other aspect of this case, of course, being the protests that students from the Northeast have continued. They are sure to ask for more stringent action against the 3 men who've been arrested, now likely to be charged with culpable homicide or murder. Exactly. The protests are continuing. The protests have continued so far at various places. The protesters are demanding, that there should be stringent laws. First of all, laws to tackle racism and racist remarks that are made against Northeast students. Also, they are questioning why there was delayed action on the part of the police, why there was delay in filing an FIR. They've also been demanding the setting up of a cell at every police station and legal aid to every Northeast citizen, whoever comes and tries to lodge a complaint regarding a racist mark. So this will give impetus to all the demands that have been raised by the Northeast activist groups that have been protesting ever since Nido's death.
Vijay Kaur, many thanks for getting us those perspectives on this breaking story. We're going to come back to you as we hear more.